We're recording.
Yeah, we're ready.
Let's do it. How's it going, Michael?
It's going pretty good. I am a little tired, but
Yes.
I'm going to try to bring the energy
I love it.
this pod recording. It's a little cold. We got a late winter cold
Dude,
snap.
so
Blizzard
cold.
up in the
What's going
Northeast,
on?
yeah.
It's all that global warming is catching up with us. It is crazy. We do need a clay thrower energy drink just to, pump us up in this cold times. I'm excited for a brand new series.
Ooh. So we finished Joshua.
Joshua is a wrap.
Okay, good.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's good. This one, I don't know.
Going on to Judges.
Maybe one day we'll take a break. I don't know what a good name for this series is. There certainly is probably one better than this.
Yeah.
It sounds a little pretentious.
It is. I remember reading this word in middle school and I was like, what does this mean? And I had to look it up. And I was like, oh, this is a good word. And I've used it. But whenever I do use it, people look at me.
Like, who do you
But
think
it's
you are?
is there a better word for what we're talking about?
Dude,
I don't know.
that's great. Well, introduce the name of our series.
All right. It is Narrative Juxtaposition, how the Bible speaks through story placement.
And for me, the more I study scripture, the more I just love seeing like the connections that the authors, when they wrote things, it was on purpose. It like connects and things like you can read the Bible all your life, you don't notice something, but then when you see it. And it's like, the more you study it, it is amazing how it like folds in of itself, Old Testament to the New Testaments to everything in between. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah. And should we define the word juxtaposition for our listeners?
They should just go get a dictionary.
Listeners or viewers?
That's good. Wait, what do we mean if we're using such weird words like juxtaposition?
Yeah, so juxtaposition really means you're like taking two things that sometimes are seemingly unrelated, or even if they're not, like they could be like opposites. It's kind of like an oxymoron, but not that extreme. But you're really just taking things that you wouldn't necessarily expect to go together and like putting them right next to each other, and they're kind of juxtaposed. Sometimes they can be acting like foils of each other, or they can just be, complement. But it's two things being put together that you wouldn't necessarily expect.
And I think sometimes we can just breeze by this kind of stuff, but then if you stop and see it, you're like, whoa, that is actually weird that these were like, was this on purpose? Mm-hmm. Most of the time in the Bible, if you're asking if this is on purpose, it's going to be a resounding yes, right?
Yeah. You would think so. Yeah.
So this is great. The first episode we're going to do today revolves around the book of Matthew. And the reason why is that I think if you ask many Christians who have had any training, whether it's a Sunday school or whatever, about the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, what are the different emphases? What do most people say the emphases is for Matthew, or what are some of the emphases?
Yeah, so you will hear it said you read through Matthew.
Yeah.
His like key phrase is, so it was fulfilled. So it was fulfilled.
Oh, yeah.
So it was fulfilled. Something very similar to that. So he's talking a lot about Jesus fulfilling Old Testament prophecies. And so the scripture was fulfilled or something. So generally we talk about him being the Messiah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the view of him.
Yeah, that's right.
And Matthew's gospel said to have been written to the Jews. Yeah.
Yeah, very Jewish.
One of the first ones out where, maybe the first one out. So, largely it's a Jewish religion right now.
Yeah, it has a lot of Jewish allusions, talks a lot kingdom of heaven instead of kingdom of God. Something like Jews would be very like maybe hesitant to write God, so they would say things like kingdom of heaven. You hear this all the time, Messiah, the kingship of Jesus, these kind of things. And so the title of this episode is Matthew, a Jewish gospel that won't stop talking about Gentiles. And that's probably
nice.
Overstated.
Yeah.
Because it's not like all it talks about Gentiles. It actually talks almost the least about Gentiles. But when it does, that's the juxtaposition.
Ooh, yeah. I'm excited to get into it.
I'm excited too. So we're going to look through a few different, we're going to kind of breeze by these Gentile insertions. We're going to look at a few other things just to kind of show, these contrasts and how once you see it, you can't unsee it.
That's good.
Well, let's go ahead and take it to the next level.
Let's fire up that twangy music.
From the heart of the Low Country in South Carolina,
It's the Take Two podcast, where we take theology to the next level.
We kind of framed it. Matthew usually is read as fulfillment heavy. You know, it's got Torah all over it. Israel is at its center. Yet, we do see Gentiles kind of popping their head in there from time to time. And not only that, these Gentiles are the ones that maybe recognize Jesus in a greater way. They demonstrate greater faith. Their confessions are more vibrant and full of true theology. It's like kind of crazy.
Yeah. So you have Matthew basically using the Gentiles as a foil, as a compare contrast against the Jews. So that hence the word juxtaposed. Beautiful.
And if you are, you would probably pick up on this more if you were a Jewish person reading this and you're like, wait a second, why is like the spotlight, presumably, because the two ways you can look at it is, this is just a story. This is just like random anecdote, just coincidence, whatever. But I think, like you said, the Gentiles are used as foils. It's a mirror. It reflects almost Israel's hardness of heart or blindness, and really foreshadows like this change, this new covenant that is just opening up to all the world, where all the Abraham's family, is blessing the nations.
That's good.
Or less,
So maybe to help the listeners out, imagine like a Cold War era American patriot novel that is kind of really written towards Americans, and yet you have these highlights of Soviet Union people coming in and doing great things, and you're like, what are we doing here? I thought this was
you're like, I don't
thought
like
this was
this.
about America.
It would like rub you the wrong way, even if like in the end it's like America won and stuff. It would be like weird.
Why are these Soviets getting the spotlight in this book about America? That's what it would be like for the Jews.
Well, let's talk about Matthew's Jewish DNA. We'll kind of hit this baseline so we can better see this contrast. So if we were to look at the genealogy in Matthew, famously, we kind of hit the heavy hitters like Abraham. Maybe when contrasted with some of these other gospels that maybe start with Adam.
Right.
It's it's on purpose. You see this, it's like Jewish from the start, right? Abraham, David, talk about exile, which leads into Jesus, the Messiah. Some people would say, hey, if you follow the discourses of Matthew, there's 5 of them, maybe an allusion to the Pentateuch, maybe that's reaching, but you can see some of these things. You look at Jesus and you really see him as the new Moses. We see kind of the Sermon on the Mount, and we see, you've heard this said, this is what I say.
Yeah.
We see him as the true Israel, the king from David's line. All of these different Jewish structure kind of built in.
That's very good. So there's also some linguistic markers. So like you already mentioned, kingdom of heaven. Other gospels talk about the kingdom of God. We know Jews were not quite as ready to say God or God's name. So maybe a holdover from there. A lot of stuff on the temple that you'll see throughout the gospel. There's a lot of Pharisees, Sadducees trying to catch him up in different disputes. One of those is like healing on the Sabbath and stuff.
I think you do see like slightly more of this per, compared to other ones. Like, man, can't get enough of the Sabbath.
Yeah. And then, like we mentioned before, always like this was in order to fulfill the scriptures. Like I think it's Matthew that even says, he said, "I'm thirsty." They give him the sponge with some wine on it, and he says, "I thirst." He tastes it, doesn't really drink it, but this was so that all would be fulfilled. Yeah.
You see that? Yeah. So it's kind of like scholars and non-scholars alike say this is Jewish for good reason.
Yeah,
it's there. It's definitely there. So let's start at the beginning and let's talk about the first Gentile insertion we see, and that's Matthew chapter 1. We see not only a Gentile, but a Gentile woman of all people.
Right.
You want to read verses 3 through 6 of chapter 1?
Yeah, it does seem like maybe we're going back to Joshua, but here we go. Judah was the father of Perez, and Serah by Tamar. Perez was the father of Hezron, and Hezron the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Abinadab, Abinadab the father of Nahshon, and Nahshon the father of Salmon. And Salmon was the father of Boaz by Rahab. Boab was the father of Obed by Ruth, and Obed the father of Jesse. Jesse was the father of David the king.
Man, so like we mentioned, we start with Abraham, and this short, just few verses, Abraham will get to David. making the Jewish, thing in your face. But what's more remarkable is all the stuff in between. There's a lot just sandwiched in such a small amount of text. Tamar, a lot of great things, we see about her in the Old Testament.
She's such a, her and Judah and Omen, such a heartwarming story.
One of those bedtime stories. Can't wait to teach your children. Famously in the sexual scandal, I think, also famously, Judah's like, she's more righteous than I. That's the very positive side.
But she's full on Jewish, so, right? That was a joke.
Okay, I was like, very much Canaanite. Yeah, exactly. So that's the first one we see, and you might be like, wow, one Gentile woman,
right?
Maybe an accident.
Yeah.
Then Rahab hits you. Prostitute. Jericho, also being of Jericho, Gentile. Ruth. Man, the non-Gentiles keep coming, and a Moabite of all people.
Yeah. They were cursed. Yeah.
And then Bathsheba, maybe not explicitly, but, via Uriah, we have this Gentile association. So just like boom, 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 boom.
I didn't read all of 6.
I stopped.
The
paragraph stops. Finish that.
The paragraph stopped, but the verse kept going. So let me read the rest of that verse. Jesse was the father of David the king. David was the father of Solomon by Bathsheba, who had been the wife of Uriah.
And as we know, Uriah was a Hittite. I feel like you can't say Uriah without thinking Hittite. We had a guy named, I might have said this before, Uriah I went to school, went to Christian school, and we were always like Uriah the Hittite. That was just his name.
I coached a Uriah. I asked him if I could just call him the Hittite. He was like, no, I don't think I want that.
Please don't. So we look at this, and you see Messiah's line is very Jewish. Abraham, David, can't miss that. But on top of that, there is this ethnic mixing. And even beyond that, morally, it's not like everyone is perfect. I mean, Abraham and David weren't perfect either.
Right.
You kind of see throughout all of that so much grace and how God uses sinful people, and not just sinful men, but sinful women, in bringing about his purposes. It's pretty amazing. So before Jesus is even on the scene, this has been teed up for us.
Yep. It's almost like it was part of God's plan.
Exactly.
All right. Next section here, the Magi.
Man.
From the East. Clearly Jewish, right?
Clearly Jewish. We know the story. Christmas wasn't that long ago. It's one of those. Also, there's 3 of them, and only 3.
Exactly 3.
One for each gift. We know they travel from far away. They're rejoicing. They worship. They give gifts. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of great things. I mean, to make that trek and to be ones that recognize Jesus. Compare that to the people immediately around Jesus, or a lot of the Jews. They're very close. It's not like they have to hike miles and miles. Mm-hmm. They have the Torah. They have the Old Testament. Mm-hmm. They don't do anything, really.
It's like, other than the shepherds who are explicitly told, come see this, it's like, it's kind of a non-event. So
we see that there's these pagan astrologers, reading the skies. They recognize Israel's king. However, Israel's leaders, the ones who can quote scripture, they know all the little laws and all the extra laws, don't obey it. At least they don't get to the heart of the matter. Jesus exposes that later. So they have all this knowledge, but no worship. The pagans come to worship. Isn't that something?
Yeah, and Herod, an Edomite, says, hey, let us know where he is. Obviously, we know that's under false pretenses.
Yeah.
But you would think that maybe there would be some Jews in the hearing who would be like, oh, I want to know for real reasons, but we don't have any record of that.
That's so interesting. So that's just chapter 1 and chapter 2, and we're just off to the races in Matthew. Let's skip down to Matthew chapter 8. Maybe we should read this. I don't know if you're looking at this, Michael. Is this too much text? Is this enough text if we want to do 5 through 13? All right, let's do it.
All right. It says, this is Matthew 8, 5 through 13. And when Jesus entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him, imploring him and saying, Lord, my servant is lying paralyzed at home, fearfully tormented. Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. But the centurion said, Lord, I'm not worthy for you to come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I also am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. And I say to this one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my slave, do this, and he does it. Now when Jesus heard this, he marveled and said to those who were following, "Truly I say to you, I have not found such great faith with anyone in Israel. I say to you that many will come from the east and from the west and will recline at the table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will be cast out into the outer darkness, in that place where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." And Jesus said to the centurion, "Go, it shall be done for you as you have believed." And the servant was healed that very moment.
Man, we see a lot in here, and it kind of like builds. Like by the time you get to that, it's pretty strong language. I love this. Jesus marveled.
Yeah.
He's astonished. He's like, and the statement is something. No one in Israel have I found such faith. That's a strong statement, you know? Because there's a lot of people in Israel, kind of the same thing with the Magi and everyone else. It's like, man, these are the people that know the scriptures. And it was this centurion that had greater faith. And even that, he's like, hey, you know, you're going to be with Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. It's like, you're the one. And not only that, the sons of the kingdom, they're actually going to be thrown into outer darkness with weeping and gnashing of teeth. Can't get a whole lot more clear than that.
Yeah. I wonder how the reaction was. Because, you know, he said stuff like this at one time and they like try to, you know, throw him off a cliff and he, you know, escapes from their grasp. But it seems like they're paying attention. They would know. It's like one of those, you know, you watch a show like Downton Abbey or something. Yeah. And it's like all these polite people sitting around, but they throw insults at each other all the time. They're like veiled insults. Like this is like a veiled insult kind of to the people around them. And it's like, did they pick up on it or, you know?
Because you would hope you would read that. And if you are offended, like you should be offended. And hopefully that would
prick your heart.
Prick you. Maybe it would go the other way. But it's like, that should bring you to be like, man, this centurion who doesn't know anything.
Showing us up.
It's like, like, man, that's crazy. Next one, Matthew 15. So we can see Matthew 1 and 2, a little gap, another little gap here. We come to the Canaanite woman. Again, I think we're going to see some strong words. We'll look at verses 21 through 28. I'll go ahead and read these. And Jesus went away from there and withdrew to the district of Tyre and Sidon. Behold, a Canaanite woman from the region came out and was crying, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. My daughter is severely oppressed by a demon." But he didn't answer her a word. And his disciples came and begged him, saying, "Send her away, for she is crying out after us." Jesus answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But she came and knelt before him, saying, "Lord, help me." And he answered, "It's not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Yes, Lord. Yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered her, "O woman, great is your faith. Be it done for you as you desire." And her daughter was healed instantly. Again, big stuff. Jesus, for some context, he's kind of went away. He's in Tyre and Sidon, so he's kind of in this Gentile territory. And it kind of sounds like, Jesus, you're being a little harsh there. And she's kind of like...
Sounds like she corrects him. I've seen some videos that would say, you know, the time that Jesus sinned and was corrected by a Gentile woman. I was like, I don't... Maybe we're not as being charitable. So what I have read, and it seems like it's very plausible that, you know, there are some common phrases that we have in our day. Something like, "We are all patriots." Like we know that's a common phrase that we love and we agree with, right?
Totally.
So it would be something like, you know, I'm guessing these phrases are phrases that were common amongst Jews that Jesus is not offering sincerely. He's just saying, hey, how you know that the Jews say that this is for...
It's like a thing in the culture.
This is this. And she says, yeah, Lord, I know they say that, but even the dogs get crumbs. And
man, what a good response.
That's faith.
Great is your faith. Again, not just a Gentile, but a Gentile woman. We see this. This is very, very like in your face. She appeals to mercy. She perseveres. And this Gentile persistence is kind of set alongside Israel's like resistance. They are encountered with Jesus over and over a lot of times, and they harden. She's like, "Lord, have mercy on me," and being very persistent. We're going to jump to the end of the book, Matthew 27. We just got one verse here. Let's have you read, Michael, verse 54.
All right. It says, "Now the centurion and those who were with him, keeping guard over Jesus, When they saw the earthquake and the things that were happening, became very frightened and said, truly, this was the Son of God.
Short and sweet. We know the scene.
Yeah.
Jesus on the cross. This is the first human confession after Jesus' death. And it comes from, a Gentile executioner, someone who presumably is, he's there crucifying people, this kind of thing. And so if you zoom out, it's like, man, we got the genealogy and the Magi at the beginning, the Centurion at the end. It's almost like bookending with these Gentile exclamations or proclamations of faith, whether it's action or in word or both.
Yeah, and we got the genealogy kind of predates actually
right.
Christ.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
like
yeah,
you said, we
right.
have the bookends, and then we have a couple smatterings in between. So
it's like it's not like this book is all about Gentiles, because it's not.
No.
But when Gentiles are mentioned, it's so crazy where it's totally, and that spotlight really shows that faith is what creates the true Israel. What's it really mean to be a Jew, be a child of Abraham, child of the promise? Privilege without this faith actually produces blindness, produces hardness of hearts. Israel's rejection, we kind of see this in real time, compared to Gentiles that are just being included, beginning to fulfill these Old Testament promises. We kind of see this in real time as the kingdom expands.
Yeah, that's very good. We know that we looked at some of the covenant promises in the past. If you weren't here from that, you would know, if you go back and you look at the Abrahamic covenant, God tells Abraham, "I'm going to bless all the nations through you, through your offspring.
Yeah.
All the world's going to be blessed." And then there's also places along the Old Testament where it gives this insight that the Jews are going to be a blessing to the world. I wonder what they thought.
I wonder, yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, hey, we are going to be, and so you just see that being worked out here. Literally, with Jesus, coming on the scene, these Gentiles recognizing him for who he is, and basically getting included in. Man,
so good. We see more of this connection with Isaiah's servant songs. You can see this in here. Psalms, this universal worship is it's all these Old Testament shadows, and we see it really, in that Great Commission, really, go out, preach the gospel
to everyone. Yeah.
Everyone. And so you read this, and I think we learn a lot of different lessons. We can apply this in different ways, but we see this a lot in just the relationships here. Jesus runs into these people, and just their response is like pretty crazy. And then we all know we didn't go through, a lot of the Jewish response, but where it's like trying to trap him in something or attacking him. It's just a whole different heart behind everything. A lot of things to think about, but I think a great example of this juxtaposition that, like, for me, I knew Matthew was like Jewish, but I didn't really realize what it meant when it's like every Gentile means. When I read that in a book, I was like, wow, that makes it like this a more Jewish book, and also forever. It's just
very punchy. Yeah. It's like Matthew got it. Like he knew what he was doing. And I think it's easy. We have in our notes here, under the pastoral hermeneutical application, read the narratives relationally, not atomistically, like individual separated thing. I think it's easy to think that maybe this is all that Matthew knew, so he just wrote down what he knew.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of material to choose from.
Yes.
And under the Holy Spirit's guidance, he chose these for a reason.
Yeah.
And he put them in there for a reason to tell the story that God wanted to tell through Matthew. And it is a really Jewish story.
Yes.
But it has these peaks of Gentiles breaking through.
So good. I'm excited for this series. We got, a few more episodes in here. I had a lot of ideas. I think some of them might not totally land, maybe pushing it a little bit. But this is good. Anything else you want to say about Matthew?
Oh man, just one of the best first book of the New Testament. So
yeah, if you've heard our synoptic gospels, you can see Michael lobbying for his view here.
Maybe I'll link that in the
go.
video.
Yeah,
that
people
way
can
you
check
can go
it
back
out,
and see if you think Matthew was written first or Mark was written first. I know from in the seminaries, I'm the minority, but I think among the people. I'm the majority.
A man of the people. That's great. Well, shall we transition to the last take? Is it final take? Last take? Last take.
Yeah, the last take. Final take.
Nice.
A take.
I don't know what you want to talk about, but man, it is just cold.
It is cold. We kind of alluded to this at the
Oh
beginning.
my goodness.
A blizzard.
The winds.
Oh man, I went out for a walk today, and because it was really nice yesterday.
So yeah.
I knew it got cold. There was a cold front that came in through last night, but I thought, it's Charleston.
Sunny
It's
outside.
going to warm up. It's
That's
sunny
right. Yeah,
outside.
you think it's going to warm up at some point.
I put on a long sleeve T-shirt and some shorts. Thought I was going to be fine, and I was like, "Do I go?" I hate like going back and then like trying to put on new clothes. Like I just want to finish, this walk, and so I didn't. I toughed it out, but I was like, "This is cold."
Man, it's like one of those things. It makes it like we had soccer practice today. I had one kid shorts and T-shirt. It's like, bro, he was instantly regretting.
Is it someone I know? Probably someone I know.
Probably. Well, Yant did warn me. If we're going on the podcast, don't mention names.
Don't mention any names. We'll mention any names.
This would not be a bad thing to mention names on, but it was like I was like dressed like several layers, and I was like I couldn't like type things. I was trying to take notes on my phone from practice, like I couldn't type things down.
Yeah.
It was so cold. Man, I feel like if I lived up north, I am like so much. I had soccer practice, but I'm so much less active when it's cold.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't want to take a walk outside or something like that,
Yeah, it is miserable. Yeah, very cold.
But, in Charleston fashion,
It's going to warm up tomorrow.
We'll be very warm.
Well, not tomorrow.
Couple days, yeah.
It's supposed to be like 20 tomorrow evening down in Beaufort, where...
Oh, because you're going,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Karis has a varsity soccer game down in Hilton Head, Beaufort, Hilton Head. And it's going to be cold. Jill's like, take blankets, take a scarf, she's very concerned. But we'll figure it out. And this is we're recording this. What is this? The 23rd. It'll be a little bit before this airs. So by the time this gets,
right.
it should be like
the listeners are like, what's going on in Charleston?
Yeah. But it's cold on the 23rd. So.
Man, yeah, I'm looking forward to warming up. And it was like really warm like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just I don't like it, man. At least it was sunny and not rainy. But man, it was brutal.
So how's handstands going?
Handstands. After our podcast, I try to get back into it. And I had a couple good ones, a couple not good ones. I need to keep up. I need to do some tonight. I'll do some tonight.
Okay. All right.
Leanne gives me grades every time. Like on a scale of 0 to 100, she'll pick that was a 7.5. So, that one was a 3. Not good.
So you're getting 3s and 7s on a scale to up to 100?
Well, yeah. Well, she's saying like, maybe it's 79. Is what I mean.
All right.
And it's like one of those things. It's like, it can be great. It can be not good. I've got no consistency.
Right.
I'm not very reliable. I'm kind of, every now and then I get a good one, but it's not.
It's like, not to act like I've ever walked on my hands, because I've never done that. But it seems like I've done stuff like that where it's like if your balance is good to start.
Oh yeah.
Like you can build off that.
Yeah.
But if you have like a little bit of teeter in there and then you like try to correct and you overcorrect it and it's like you're down.
It's bad. And right now, like when I feel good, it's not like I'm holding a handstand for 10 seconds. It's like 3 seconds. I'm like, this is a great one. It's like you kind of get the feel for a little bit, but then you lose it instantly. So all that to say, not super great.
So we had home groups at your house last night, and I saw some of these cushions. So are those out for your handstands? Do you land on those cushions?
Funny. My kids just like love playing with these. Like, are you talking about the yellow cushion things?
Yeah.
My kids just play with them, but I do use them as like little buffers when I like. Because my best ones are when I really go for it, and sometimes I overshoot, and I'm like, this is how people get hurt. Like I should probably like bail out of it, but I really push on. But I have those cushions that help me out. But it's great. You got all my bases covered. Man, it gets pretty wild with all the kids jumping around in there sometimes. But it's good. Yeah. So what about you? Have you been working on anything?
Yeah, I've been working out. It seems like I can get a workout in once or twice a week. And I'm like, I know I need to like get to that 3. When I say workout, I mean like lifting weights, resistance training.
Yeah. Because do you work out at the school?
At school,
Nice.
I should persuade Jonathan to.
Yeah. Does he work out at school?
I think he goes to Planet Fitness.
Really?
Yeah, I think
it's just because the school is like busy at certain times. You don't be around students.
Yeah, I mean, I do normally go later in the evening, but it's like it'd be pretty. It's close for me. It'd be real close for Jonathan.
Yeah.
I've been taking creatine, so I did my like.
How long have you been? Did you like?
I did my ramp dose, and then I was like doing my normal doses.
What you like 5 grams is like normal dose for you?
Yeah, like 5.
I hit it hard.
Well, I was reading is like whatever. Once you get your muscles so absorbed, you're just urinating out any that's extra, and that's kind of
What
hard
they
on your
say,
kidneys.
I don't know how good the studies are. You've probably seen this too. It's a lot of creatine. If you're on 20 grams of creatine or more, it's good for cognitive use.
So
That's if you're sleep
I was
it's if you're
looking up
sleep
stuff.
deprived. I think it's only I don't know if it's only if you're sleep deprived, you do better than other people that are sleep deprived. But I don't know if it's that
20.
much benefit.
Can you absorb 20? Because
I
that
don't
was
know. That's what I don't know how good the study is or not. But that's what it might just be like, hey, as far as muscle is concerned, I don't know. That's like a new thing, and usually
Maybe
it's like
I'll
when it's in
up
the
it a little
news
bit.
like that, it's like doesn't really make a difference, you know?
I did. There was like 2 or 3 days, maybe 4 days in a row, because I weigh daily, and when I first started taking the creatine, you go up a little bit
Yeah,
because
the
you're
water.
packing water and stuff in your muscles, and it was fine. And then I was like a pound or 2 lost a day, and then I was like, oh, I forgot to take my creatine, so I was probably burning the creatine out, and I was like, I'm losing weight fast.
What you do the powder, mix it in?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do too. Cheap. It's like, man, I would love. I know the gummies have sugar and stuff in this. That's like so. I mean, not that the powder's that hard, but it'd be nice just to pop a gummy. But those things get expensive.
I wonder how much they gave me when I went to A-State, because I'm like, this powder is nothing. I remember like going like choking on how much they gave us when we were playing football.
Oh yeah,
probably more than our body could definitely
That's
absorb.
great.
And they would just say, hey, make sure you drink some water. And I'm like, I am drinking it with water. But they probably should have said, you need to drink a gallon of water with this much creatine that we're giving you. But
kidneys.
that was never made clear. So yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. Like I have like 90 servings in the whatever the amount I get, and I just opened a new one this morning, and like that fresh creatine that hasn't been like absorbed any liquid or water is just like so nice compared to my old creatine. It's like, oh my goodness, it's kind of gross. It's like not dissolving. It's so I don't know. We'll see how long I can keep it going, but that's
I normally just put it in the bottom, get some water, swirl, swig, and then you then fill up the glass and drink the whole glass, something like that. So
it's great. My cousin who stayed with us for like a summer while he was going to PT school, while they figured out something, he would just dry. Just
dry. That's it seems like that's what they gave us too. I remember it being dry in my mouth and then chasing it with something to drink. And I was like, this is horrible. And I was looking at the different types, because there's the monohydrate.
Yeah.
And then there's HCl, I think. Maybe.
Oh yeah, interesting.
I don't know.
I
There's
don't
two
know
different
that. I'm not
types.
expert. Yeah.
And it was like, hey, the monohydrate's the better one you want to take for absorption and stuff. I was like, good. I won't be getting that powdery stuff that we had back at. And apparently that is the monohydrate. Because when I ordered the monohydrate, I was like, this is exactly what we had at A-State. So,
love it. Creatine, man. Honestly, I feel like everyone should just take creatine.
Probably.
Side effects, not.
It'll be wild, but look at the camera. Tell Jill you should be taking creatine, because I've been telling her.
Yeah, for real.
You need to take it, but
Jill,
she's like,
do it. Do it. We'll see. So Jill's normally like 5 episodes behind.
Sometimes more than 5.
But then she catches up. She was like, you guys took a road trip out and it was Christmas. It was like, great, all caught up. I was like, all it took was like a 10-hour road trip. I don't know how far it was, but so she needs to do more of those. Great. Anything else you want to add?
I think if we keep going, we're not going to have anything for the rest of the night. So we probably should cut it off.
I love it. That's our take. Thanks for listening to Take 2. Find us wherever you find podcasts and on YouTube for those who want to watch our videocast.